It's always important to be mindful of the energy that we put out each and every day and how it impacts the people around us. This morning we have Andee Bookmyer from Indianapolis Moms here to talk about the key areas where our energy really has a big effect, and whether it's positive or negative, and how we have control over that. Andee, this is a very important topic, especially as we head into the stressful holidays.
Yes. Definitely. And I saw this video, and it was a mom in the kitchen, and she's banging cooking utensils together, and she's singing and dancing, and her son, who was in a high chair just calmly eating, all of a sudden he starts giggling and squealing and dancing, and it really made me think like how our energy does impact everybody around us, and we have to be mindful of that.
Okay, since we're in the workplace this morning, let's talk about the employee and co-worker dynamic, because that's a big one.
It really is, and I think it comes from the top. There's this ripple effect, and if your leaders, your boss, if they're positive, it's going to foster better morale and increase productivity, just generally make the workplace better and happier. Whereas if it comes from the top and the employees aren't feeling valued, or they don't feel like it's a very fun atmosphere or a positive energy, at least in the atmosphere, it leads to disengagement and decreased production. And I think two coworkers rub off on each other. I think we've all had some that like they come to work and they kind of have that face that they don't want to be there, and that energy that they're exuding is kind of one of like apathy or dislike. And I think we can all agree it's better to be around, I think, positive energy and to see people smiling and being respectful, and it really is contagious. The energy around you and what you're putting out into the universe.
That's a good thing. We have a great environment around here.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see, we've got another one here. Friendships and relationships, which those kind of go hand in hand a little bit there, because when you're in the workplace, you tend to make friends. And so a big one for this one that you noted, the dynamics are the energy, they're contagious, and you got to make sure the facets all together, you're watching out for those, because they can kind of trickle around.
Absolutely, and reciprocity is a key word in this category, because in our friendships and our relationships, are we there for them as much as they're there for us? Are we one that makes plans and keeps the plans, or do we flake a lot? Because that does matter. Just like in Seinfeld, that you can make the reservation, but keeping the reservation is what matters, right? And in your friendships, like being reliable and communication is so important. And just putting out that positive energy. How are you showing up to the table? Are you all in with your friends and your relationships? Are you kind of hit and miss?
Okay, it's so funny. We were just talking about this, my friend group, because some of us are texters versus talkers. Of course, I'm the talker. That just makes the most sense. So you got to be mindful about who likes to communicate in which way as well.
Yes.
So you have another one here that's really important, children and students. The big one with that, you never know who's going to be in that crucial age of like developing their fundamental skills. You mess that up, and it's going to affect the way you learn and the way that you soak in everything.
Yeah, and we can't underestimate our influence, and we have to model positive coping mechanisms and watch our children and make sure that we're teaching them properly how to handle stress, and that we are developing their resilience, their bounce back ability, that we're teaching them, positive ways to cope, because especially in our world, we know that's only going to be an asset going forward in their future, and their emotional well-being, their mental health, their physical well-being, all of it.
Can we talk about the family dynamic?
Yes.
That's the big one I want to hit before we get to the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so funny because when you're watching those sitcoms growing up, I don't know about you guys, the Huxtables and the Waltons, everybody's like, that's the perfect dynamic. But the older we get, I think we realize we are more dysfunctional, all of us, than we really think.
Yes, and I had used the word weird in my blog. It got edited to that, each family has their own thing going on, which is a more polite way to say it. But I do think all families have a weird dynamic at times, and communication has to be calm and honest. And at the holidays, if you don't agree on the same things, I think you know what I'm talking about, maybe just stuff some more food in your mouth, or find ways to cope, because at the end of the day, family does matter. Relationships are our most valuable asset. So we have to find ways to still maintain positive energy, even if we agree to disagree on certain things.
I've never heard anyone argue over a nice pumpkin pie.
Right, exactly. Just put some more in your mouth.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have for now. I do want to note, though, before we toss it on over to Ryan, you mentioned something about strangers and having those dynamics. That one is really simple. I mean, just make sure you're kind. The golden rule goes a long way.
Absolutely. Eye contact, just doing to others what you would want done for you. And negative energy is wasted energy.
We don't have time for that around here.
Nope.
No. Andee, it's always great to see you. Thank you so much for all the wonderful tips.
I appreciate it.
Of course. And now let's toss it on over to Ryan Morse for a look at the forecast.